The views expressed on the Jerry Cahill CF podcast are that of Jerry Cahill and guests, and not necessarily those of the Esiason Foundation. Nothing on the Jerry Cahill CF podcast should be considered medical advice. Such advice can only be given by a physician who is experienced with cystic fibrosis. The Esiason Foundation, Jerry Cahill and guests cannot be held responsible for any damage which may result from using the information on this podcast without the permission of your medical doctor. You're listening to the Jerry Cahill CF podcast presented by the Esiason Foundation and jerrycahill.com.
Welcome to Jerry Cahill's CF Unmasked podcast series. In a world where everyone wears a mask, it's nice to see a soul. This show, Going Through a Pulmonary Exacerbation, was made possible through an unrestricted educational grant from Corbus Pharmaceutical to the Esiason Foundation. Today you will meet Erica Cenci, 35 years old from Westfield, New Jersey, and currently living in New York City. Erica was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis at birth and had a pretty normal childhood and also ran cross-country track in high school. Erica's hobbies include reading, hanging out with her friends, dance, theater, cross-stitching, and eating Italian food. Erica graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in Theater and English from Muhlenberg College in Pennsylvania. From there, she pursued her dream and performed across the country in the national tour of Cats and a chorus line, before getting her equity card and performing regionally. Erica is also a dance teacher and recently celebrated her 5-year wedding anniversary with her wonderful husband Brian and her cat Sully. Erica never stops pursuing her goals and dreams. It's an honor to be speaking with Erica today as she shares some of the ugly side of cystic fibrosis when dealing with a pulmonary exacerbation.
My name is Erica Cenci. I'm originally from Westfield, New Jersey. I'm 35 years old and I was diagnosed with CF when I was born. I am an only child, so my parents were very focused on me and our black and white cat, Fred, and my mom realized from me running around the house performing shows with pots and pans and all of our instruments that I had as toys on the stage in front of our fireplace that I needed to go someplace else to put shows on. So she put me in dance class when I was 3, and I started a love of moving and dance and music from then on. I went to school for musical theater and English, and I have been auditioning and making it happen in the city. I've done improv comedy, I've done readings of new plays, I've worked together with friends who have film video production companies and trying to create our own work in whatever ways we can to kind of keep our hands creative and active. My biggest accomplishment for me was being able to tour the United States and Canada with the National Tour of Cats and with the National Tour of a Chorus Line. Those are two very dance-heavy shows, very classic musical theater shows, and I was so proud of myself that I was able to handle the long contracts, the travel, and I got to perform in so many different theaters across the country and meet audiences across the country, and it was like nothing else. It was wonderful. Currently, I'm in the middle of dealing with a pulmonary exacerbation. To be honest, I have not been feeling great since end of February. I just noticed that my energy wasn't really there. I was struggling to breathe a little bit. I live in a 4th floor walk-up, so some days I would find that it would take much more out of me than I wanted and I thought should happen to climb the stairs to get home. I was coughing through everything. I was waking up at night, I was coughing walking on the street, coughing coming up the stairs, and it was a big cough is how I kind of think about it, where from hips to shoulders, everything shakes. It just felt like I was wearing a very, very tight corset that was maybe even a size too small. I felt very bloated and swollen, and that there was no longer air and space for me to move and take a breath to get the air that I needed. From there, then I started coughing, and the cough turned very large and it turned very productive. I was bringing up much more stuff than normal. The color changed. The feeling that happens when everything is inflamed and there is a lot of chest tightness that is happening constantly it is a terrible feeling. It is an exhausting feeling, and it requires so much energy to fight through that inflammation, to give yourself a good breath. This time around, my lung function definitely dipped down lower than where it sits, a good 10 points, if not a little bit more. And it's been slow to come back. It is a scary thing to realize the time in between the IV treatments has decreased. And I definitely found myself thinking, oh, I wonder if this is the new normal. If the time in between will get shorter and shorter, and if that's just how it's going to go. I've noticed in the past 2 years that my time spent feeling unwell versus my time spent feeling well is starting to shift in towards the unwell category. I've been thinking a lot about career changes and making sure that I feel like I'm being productive as a human and as me and doing the things that I like to do. And I hate that this disease could make that impossible. I don't want it to. And I've been able to kind of kick it in the face and say, go sit down. I'm not ready for that. And I feel like I've been in control a decent amount, but no one likes to feel sick. No one likes to feel like they can't breathe. And that is very scary to me. Having to go into the hospital for a pulmonary exacerbation for me made me feel very sick, because who goes to the hospital? It's not healthy people. It's people who need the care of doctors and nurses, which then signals to me that I haven't been able to care for myself. And that doesn't feel great. And I feel old and I feel sick. And I don't want to be reminded that I'm sick. The decision of, you know what, this is something that we need to do, that conversation in the doctor's office always feels like you're on a roller coaster and your stomach just drops out. I never want to hear that from the doctor, that they think this is the time now that we need to do the IVs. Doing IV antibiotics at home when I'm not feeling well, when I'm dealing with a pulmonary exacerbation, is great because I'm still at home, and so I can wear my pajamas and I can wear my comfy clothes and have my snacks and be in the comfort of my home. But it completely changes the normal daily routine. It becomes, all of a sudden now, the whole day is, did I wake up enough time to do the IV medications 8 hours apart? When am I eating? When am I doing airway clearance? I have to wrap it and take a shower. So it definitely changes how you look at your 24 hours being at home. The long term is something that is very present to me, because I don't want to get to a point where all of the scarring and it has built up and things get very, very difficult. And it's because, you know, I took some time off kind of caring for myself. That's not a conversation I want to have. That's very scary to me. Coming off of the IV antibiotic treatment is like Christmas. When the line comes out of my arm, it feels like I could run a marathon. I always feel clearer. I feel lighter. I feel full of energy every single time I finish a course. And I know that, that's the end game. That's the great result. Don't get mad. Don't get frustrated. We fight so hard every single day, even more so when the pulmonary exacerbation shows up, that no one will get mad at you if you need a day to drink water and stay home and sleep and really give yourself a good chance to get back to your fighting stance. It is exhausting to fight. Again, I keep looking at the past 2 years and thinking things have been a little harder. I've been going to the doctor more frequently. I've been not feeling great more frequently. And then I keep thinking, well, I'll get to all the stuff that I need to do as soon as I start feeling better. And then there's never a clear moment of, oh, today's the day that I'm back to normal. My dream for myself as someone who has cystic fibrosis is that I have 35 plus more years to do what I want. I want to continue to be active. I want to make my body move and dance and ski and play tennis. My dream is to be alive and healthy and with people for as long as I possibly can.